All right, it says check. It says I'm live. Do I trust it? Oh yeah, that's one good thing. Well, kind of. See, I can't share. I might be able to. I don't know. It's going to be a bitch like sharing links and shit or running videos on here, I do believe, but that's why I need to do this more. Um fucking promotional bullshit. Yeah, maybe that's the link. Anyways, I'll put the StreamYard link up here shortly. Yeah, exactly. Cheers to you, Jay. Yeah, I've owned 3 Gibsons. I had 2 Explorers. I had a natural finish mahogany body maple. I think it was a maple neck. Um, and I had a limited edition Explorer with all gold hardware. Had the ivory finish with fucking thin gold bars, crossbars. I was young and dumb. Can't regret that kind of shit. But I tell you what, I do regret that getting rid of that SGX because it wasn't a gimmick thing, it's fucking Gibson guitars. It's certainly still at that point they hadn't had any issues yet that it was coming, but I think that was like the SGX might have been they seen the adjustments the company was going to have to make coming. And I mean, you'll never fucking get a guitar even if you adjust for inflation, you're not going to get a brand new SG for that kind of money. It's just fucking crazy. And they fucking skyrocketed. You can probably find one of the salmon pink or school bus yellow ones for $700 or $800, but you'll never find one of those Caribbean blue ones. I've only seen a couple online and they're $1,500 all day. Jay, it was just so fucking smooth, dude, because the standard SGs are pretty big. This thing, the picture I had up isn't that big. It's it's not quite the size of an SG, and I don't like the whatever that fucking bridge setup is on the standard SGs. God damn it, I can never remember that. Anyways, so I fell in love with this thing, and I can never remember the pickups that my partner put in because he had a school bus yellow one, and I can never remember the pickups he loaded for our lead pickup, but I could give the motherfucker was just so it was just perfect for me. It was just perfect. Being someone that'll never be so fucking that'll have so much understanding that I'd ever be able to like design and set the specs for a guitar to perfectly fit me. I couldn't have found they couldn't have built a better one. So I thought I would try this StreamYard and see if I can encourage some folks in a little while if they got something to say to join me for a minute. I'll put them right where my painting of Courtney Love, my unfinished painting of Courtney Love is sitting. If it was finished, I might get a community guideline strike though, because she was topless. She might have been bottomless too. She has her legs crossed. I'll stop now. So I guess I don't need. Yeah, this is different. I really need to try this more often. I think you can only use StreamYard for so many hours a month or something for free anyway, so I wouldn't be able to it probably wouldn't work for me all the time because I probably stream too often for that. Oh, it's got a fucking live count, a stream counter, a live viewer count. Oh, you guys can't see that. I guess just I can. Weird. All right. Dave, are those active? Didn't you tell me those were active or something? You have an Ibanez, right? You know, I've obviously become a little bit more or a lot more sensitive to things like that, right? So Jay talking about his Strat Telly. There's some shit like obviously playing way more blues now than I ever did, or upbeat, funky, whatever blues than I ever have. A fucking Telecaster would probably be pretty goddamn fun, I have to say. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I had Charvel for a very short time when I was like 20 years old with a Floyd Rose on it, but I had no idea about any of that shit. And that was the reason I got rid of it, because I didn't know how to fucking work, keep that fucking bridge set right. Just always out of tune. But now something like that would also be fun because, like I said, I'm sober and more sensitive, and I could get off on some whammy bar with some fucking shit. But that would just be fucking around, and it's not worth it. I can't see buying a guitar just to fuck it for making fun noises. Maybe. Yeah, I can't. I'm not sure what the Telecaster bridge pickup is setup is like. I know I just like that old, and I'll never remember it. I can never remember the names of this shit. I mean, I know Gibson always had Dirty Fingers, I believe, right? In their Dirty Finger were our standard for Gibson guitars, but and I just can never remember the set bridge, what it's called. I'm drawing a blank on a lot of shit these days. Yeah, that's the thing with this Yamaha, Jay, but it's all fucking it's all stock. The reason I got it because I didn't have the money to get a decent Gibson guitar unless I bought a used one, and I just didn't want to do it even though I knew it would be worth it. I'm like I don't want to have any problems. I don't want to be fucking dealing with worn out fretboards or any of that shit, right? So I fucked around, and my buddy, a longtime local friend and musician, worked at this store, and he wasn't there that day, but I had talked to him about it before, and he's like, it's a fucking solid guitar, Troy. So I had to have a set neck, had to have a set bridge, and the action on it's amazing. but it doesn't get it doesn't, you guys have heard it. I just can't get much of a very fat sound out of it the way it's set up, right? Or with those pickups anyways. I need a single coil neck pickup in there, I think. Like a nice hot one. The C3 saddle tally bridge needs compensated saddles, or you have intonation issues, high on the neck. All right, guys, I'm going to see if I can get this see if I can get into this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, there we go. Huh. Except you can't fucking move this shit, I guess. Whatever. All right. So I don't know if you guys heard, I don't know how many, I think it was last week, it was they were up to what, seven or nine boats that should I move over just a bit? 7 or 9 boats that unfortunately our Navy has been asked to blow up without any real evidence, or just, that's not how we do shit anyways, is it? I mean, I don't have, Americans buy drugs. That's why they come into this country. They're not being forced upon us. I know that Republicans would like you to believe that. And that said, nobody has a problem with, there being doing whatever we can to stop people from bringing shit like fentanyl, cocaine, whatever, into heroin into our country. You know what I mean? No, the only people that are going to be against, what is constitutionally acceptable for us to fight back against, drugs being imported into our country is the folks that are using them. And there's a lot of them. And I'm not making any judgment calls. Like I said, drugs are a big business in this country because Americans like to buy them and use them. Americans. My guess is a lot of the folks that are telling you that we need to stop having the shit brought into our country or allowing it, or we need to do this, we need to blow up innocent folks fishing boats off the coast of Venezuela in international waters and sovereign waters. You know what I mean? Those same folks are using the drugs that they're telling you not to use, and that there's wanting to, I don't know what the fuck missiles they're shooting at these fishing boats, but can you imagine? I mean, we have a fucking aircraft carrier fleet out there. It's not when they say, "Oh yeah, Trump sent a carrier to this region or that region." It's like a fucking half a dozen other boats, and I say boats, ships minimum, that are flanking that carrier. At least I'm pretty sure it's around 9-ish or more boats that generally travel with a carrier. So to get Manuel while he's out there trying to catch a fucking fish for his family. So there was also you have to forgive me, it sucks I don't remember was it USS George Washington? Anyways, Trump and Hegseth visited a U.S. base while they were in Japan, and gave a little speech aboard, I believe it was the USS George Washington. And I could not, because of the time difference, and they were over there, it was very early in the morning here. And I watched Hegseth come out on stage, and then I just couldn't. And I didn't go back and find the Trump speech either. I couldn't. So anyways, here's a rundown on what's been happening over there. So strikes by the Eastern Pacific Ocean Caribbean cruises. The United States Department of Defense, and I love that, automatically this article says the DOD, not the DOW, announced strikes on vessels they allege were smuggling narcotics, some said to originate from or transit near Venezuela. For example, on October 27, 2025, a strike on 4 alleged drug trafficking boats in the Eastern Pacific reportedly killed 14 people. There's more on Wikipedia if you want to dig deeper on that. Earlier strikes are reported in international waters off Venezuela's coast, where boats alleged to be narco trafficking were targeted. The U.S. has labeled some groups as narco-terrorists and is using that as justification for kinetic strikes. So this is an issue because they are saying that, when it's in international waters, right? So now no matter where you are, if you have drugs on you, the United States or Trump administration seems to be suggesting that that's enough evidence or enough of a threat to the United States that they can just not bring these people in. You know what I mean? This is a big old fucking Navy ship with a bunch of pretty badass sailors. Why would they not just seize the boat and arrest the people? Any ideas? Because that's not what it's about, is the drugs. It's fear tactics. And soon it's coming to a state near you or a town near you. This is all being rolled out at the quickest speed that they think they're going to be able to get away with it without causing too much pushback or drawing too many red flags, right? Trump just created this war. The president of No More Wars just created this war out of thin air and is violating international law, is committing war crimes. If this is, I mean, for one, I don't think that Trump can actually declare war. That's a power reserved for Congress. So this is really troubling because I've given plenty of thought to how it's affecting the people of Venezuela, right? I'm not saying there's not, come on, you can't fucking sit there and convict in the court of public opinion a whole fucking nation of people because yes, we all know drugs come from there. Where are they going to? We're fucking feeding it. So it's coming back to the Americans. This is all just a starting point for the Trump administration to find a route to hammer down on Americans. If you motherfuckers don't get it, then you got to get your head out of your ass, or maybe, I'm sure voting for him, supporting him, defending the fascist state movement. Maybe you feel it's better just to keep your head up your ass because you're really disgusted, embarrassed with yourself. You don't care. You just want the black and brown people gone and all the bad people, the libs, the dope dealers, the dope users, right? The poor people. You're just going to keep your head up your ass until all those folks are gone, and then everything will be fucking utopia. So Venezuela's government response and accusations. Venezuela government under Nicolas Maduro strongly rejects the strikes as illegitimate acts of aggression. Yeah, I can agree with that. They've declared they are ready to mobilize, defend their coast, and fight covert operations. That would suck. We all know what's going to happen if Venezuela decides to start shooting back. I can't blame them. But I'm always going to defend the safety of our troops. It's unfortunate that what they're doing seems to be seems to be following illegal orders. When it's not, applying for a job when you sign up for the military. You're swearing an oath to the Constitution, not a president, not a commanding officer, not a general, not an admiral, right? I mean, I've heard career military veterans and talked to a couple personally over and over and over say that your sworn oath is to stand down when given illegal orders. When you're given orders that defy or go against your oath to the Constitution, that is part of your oath, is to stand down. That can't be easy to do. What if you're out there on a ship with 4,000 sailors on this ship, I believe, 4,400 on the carrier? What if you're out there? Are you going to be the only one to stand down? You're out there on a ship. You're going to get locked away until you get back. You're going to be court-martialed. You're probably going to be put in prison. Unless you are able to prove that you were, what you were ordered to do is illegal. And that might not be that easy. We can see that by how Trump administration has twisted and falsified the Constitution and our laws, our courts. Venezuela insists they captured alleged mercenaries with ties to the Central Intelligence Agency and accuses the U.S. and its regional partners of planning a false flag attack on Venezuelan or nearby territories. It is. It's nothing less than a false flag. It's nothing less than a false flag. This gets tough for real patriotic Americans. For people who, I'm not out there fucking flying my flag every goddamn day. I never have been. It's just been ingrained in us. And I talked about this the other night when I streamed. It's like, you just believed in America, and that meant believing it and taking care of your neighbors. That's what America is the people you live around and the people in the next state and down south and out west. As much as you don't agree with them on everything. We never had an issue with coming together against this kind of fucking tyranny and autocracy. Our president is a rapist, a possible pedophile, and now a war criminal. The U.S. has deployed an aircraft carrier strike group, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and other naval air assets to the Caribbean and near Venezuela. Venezuela has suspended certain energy deals with Trinidad and Tobago, citing these military movements and accusing those states of aligning with U.S. aggression. Well, that would not surprise me. I mean, it's the same thing with that ding-dong swine spewing her bullshit about spewing their bullshit about this fucking Asian trip that Trump has made. It's like, oh, they're cheering for him in this country and that country. And I don't mean to, dog on any little country for whatever reason because they're just a little country. But what are they going to do? They know what a fucking maniac Trump is. Why? Of course they're going to fucking kiss his ass. It's called survival. I mean, are you kidding me? The kind of fucking leverage Trump wields over tiny countries is insane. They had to be frightened to death to host them. As good as it could be, and probably will be, especially if they say and do the right things for a country to have a U.S. president visit them. But fuck, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, God, I don't want that shit in my house. Seriously. Can you imagine, like, if, on the campaign trail or whatever, you get some fucking ding-dong like Trump that wants to try and, show that he cares about all people, and he wants to fucking reach out to this fucking liberal fucking nobody streamer and visit him and his wife and do a whole big photo op thing on it. What would that do for someone like me? I'd have 15 minutes of fame. No fucking thanks. Seriously. No fucking thanks. I'm saying it. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy for me to say I wouldn't have Trump in my house because I know he ain't ever coming here anyways. But believe me, if he wanted to, he wouldn't be. Congressional regional oversight concerns. U.S. military officials tied to these Latin American operations reportedly are required to sign non-disclosure agreements raising transparency questions. Let me read that again. Congressional regional oversight concerns. The U.S. military officials tied to these Latin American operations reportedly are required to sign non-disclosure agreements. I don't even know what the fuck that means. So we have U.S. military officials that have to, outside their sworn oath, sign NDAs when going into it. Why would that make any difference? Who's gonna fucking sue them? What if some fucking commanding officer speaks out about war crimes that he was asked to commit or was part of committing, or she, and then they disclose that after signing an NDA? How does that fucking make any difference? Says raising transparency questions. Yeah. This is the fucking Trump administration. This is what he's doing. It's just one rollout after another, as quick as he can, without disturbing the waters too much at one time, right? Sovereignty and international law. Venezuela claims its territorial integrity and maritime rights are being violated and demands investigations, e.g., the United Nations for crimes against humanity. Yeah, it is. This is, I mean, if you want a war on drugs, you have a right to fucking continue to terrorize Americans in whatever way I guess Trump thinks is is needed. You send a fucking carrier strike group, which includes 3 different flight groups or flight crews, air combat crews on that carrier. Probably a good dozen or so of those fucking absolutely gorgeous F-35s, right? Against fishing boats. Literally, like open cabin fishing boats. Why not just fucking stop one and grab the drugs and then say, look, this is what we're stopping. You know why? Because there's nothing you and I can do about it. How does that feel? Welcome to America. And it's getting worse under Trump. You and I don't have a fucking thing to say about what Trump does with our military around the world. What we're seeing in Venezuela right now is absolutely equal to and just encourages the possibility that he thinks he can just go blowing up any boat he wants and just tell the American people or tell the world that they were drugs headed for the U.S. Prove me wrong. That was the absolute that was the answer and explanation given by the Trump administration, by the DOD, by that awesome fucking Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. That was the explanation given for blowing up just for today or yesterday. What was it? What did I say? 7 or 9 boats in the last month or so. That's the explanation given, is that for just blowing these boats up, more than half of them in international waters, without any justification other than they think that they were drug boats. We still haven't seen any evidence. As far as I know, there's been one survivor out of all of these, if he's still alive. I'm just shocked that they would even let them live. Like, even if they blew up the boats, just, started, recon or whatever, and found this sad bastard, poor bastard, still alive. I'm just shocked that they would let him live. I am. So I'll be shocked to see if there's an actual survivor today from any of these unwarranted attacks. So you can that's the explanation. These people were blown up instantly without trial, without a chance to defend them what they were doing in international waters, because Trump said they had drugs headed for the US. You tell me how that doesn't apply to everywhere in the world now. Explain to me how that doesn't apply to everywhere in the world. It's international waters. I don't give a fuck if it's only however many thousands miles from the US. 1,000 miles, 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles. Why does it matter? If they're drugs headed for the US, if that's what Trump says, then that's what it is. So the risk of escalation. What began as anti-narcotics operations increasingly look like a preparation for a broader conflict. Some U.S. officials suggest land strikes against Venezuela are on the table. So Senator Lindsey Graham thinks that there's a chance we'll have to go in, we'll send troops on the ground. Can you guys believe this shit? And you don't think our president isn't a coward? He isn't a bully coward. You don't think he's fucking hiding behind us, America? You don't think he's fucking using us for fucking shields? You don't think you got a brother, uncle, aunt, sister, niece, grandchild in the service? You're okay with, you love Trump that much, you're okay with him using your fucking grandchild for a shield. Is that right? For what? What is Trump after in Venezuela, you guys? Because it ain't stopping drugs. That ain't the goal, is it? This is sick. I could fucking sit here and ramble for the next fucking 200 hours without shutting this fucking thing down. And it isn't going to do a bit of good. What we say does not fucking matter. You guys okay with that still? Still okay with what Trump is doing? Probably. Yeah, that sucks. Again, what began as an anti-narcotics operations increasingly look like preparations for a broader conflict. Some U.S. officials, like Senator Lindsey Graham, suggest land strikes against Venezuela are on the table. Seriously, the big bad US is just going to start going in and lighting up neighborhoods that, like Israel's doing to Gaza. You don't think that's not where Trump got part of this idea from? He's all about the fucking urban warfare. We just need someone to tell me why it is that Trump is wanting to annex Venezuela and install a puppet. I have all kinds of thoughts on why. You have to excuse me now. I feel like I'm fucking getting all raspy and I keep on wanting to hack. So the regional spill over states like Trinidad and Tobago, and Colombia are implicated and could become operational or diplomatic fault lines. How do you think the folks of I mean they've how do you think the folks of Colombia feel about this? Seriously. They suffered our wrath for fucking years because of drugs. And now look, we're going to be fucking insisting that we base operations from their country. You don't think Trump's a bully? You don't think he's a big fat fucking senile, way past his time bully? You don't think that at all? Anybody within earshot have any family on that carrier in that strike group? You're okay with Trump asking them to do this, huh? How many innocent Venezuelan citizens are worth? How many of their lives are worth? You pick the number of drug dealers, traffickers' lives. If we killed 10 Venezuelan citizens, mothers, children, working fathers, struggling, you imagine what it's like living there? You selfish bastards. I know you were smart enough to choose to be born here in the U.S., right? Before you were born, you said, I'm going to be born in the U.S. because I'm not a fucking dipshit. You know what it's like to live in a country like that or have to live like that? Do you know what it's like to experience that kind of poverty? Or just, struggle? Do you know what it's like to be as patriotic as many of the folks in some of these countries? No, you don't. How many of their lives is justified to get that fucking bale of coke? 10 people you don't know, 20 people you don't know, 100 people you've never fucking seen or have to hear about, except for from my dumb ass. How many? I mean, because they're already up to, I don't know if it says here, hopefully. Probably not, because it tries to keep it so fucking sanitary, but we'll find out in a minute how many people Trump has asked our military, your family members, to kill, murder without justification against international law. We'll find out how many of those folks have been killed. Humanitarian and international impact. Even if external attacks are the headline, the Venezuelan government's response has included mobilizing militias, conducting coastal defense exercises, and warning of armed struggle that may impact civilians, border communities, refugee flows. Do you see what he's doing? What would you do? I know what I'm doing. Same thing we've been doing here in the States recently, fighting back. They know they're going to lose. So do they lay down? Well, we're good people. Why wouldn't they, TV? Why wouldn't they fucking allow us to come in and ransack their cities looking for a fucking couple joints? Who wants to be a part of that? Wait, you think fucking countries won't do that? Won't fight back? They'll lose. But we won't win. They're going to mobilize militias, conduct coastal defense exercises, warn their citizens of armed struggles. What do you think they should do? If you're a Trump supporter, I guess you would say they should bow their knee to Trump. The whole country should. Let us go through it, ransack it like Israel is doing to Gaza, right? Not even at that level. These people aren't a fucking threat to us. At least, there's no argument that Hamas is a bad actor, and I know that's an understatement. But that's how Trump is acting. He's a terrorist. You're okay with Trump turning our military into a fucking massive terrorist group? I don't know what, I'm sure he has some supporters in the military, in upper brass. I'm sure they're few and far between. I can't imagine what it's like to be the admiral of this ship, this this strike group. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is what Trump is doing. I asked what the reason was for Trump going in and attacking Venezuela in this way, in their waters, in their sovereign waters, and in international waters, both attacking innocent civilian watercraft. And I say innocent because that's how we do it in the United States. You're innocent until proven guilty. And unfortunately, Secretary Hegseth has not provided any evidence whatsoever of to back the claims they're making of who these folks were. This is the test. Trump wants to see if his military commanders, admirals, generals will follow his illegal orders. And then he's bringing it back home to us. You don't think, I know. That's crazy, TV. This is America. You lost your fucking mind. We don't have that military coups or takeovers in this country. We haven't. But that's exactly what's being tested right now. Because Trump, no, I've said it. What's he going to do? Have the fucking Republican Congress? You're going to have Mike fucking Tiny Johnson and whatever kooks are in his cabinet? Is that who's going to fucking take over America? No, he needs the military. And he has to know if they're going to follow his illegal orders before he can come back and unleash it on us. This is a test. This is a test run, what he's doing in Venezuela. He wants to see if the military will follow his illegal orders. You don't have to fucking be a service member or a genius or a law professor to go read, find out what the actions that have been taken, and then read what the law is. It's not complicated at all. Trump has just made a whole bunch of our service members international criminals. Because they're Americans and they're following orders. because they only have to take their oath once. And every day you're taking orders, and it works until you get someone at the top, high up, giving illegal orders. I seen the talking head, Rick Wilson. I love him. He said that it's probably much easier for a start, and maybe I mentioned this the other night, to take illegal orders when you're overseas. I don't know. I can see, well, I guess I suggested it earlier, alluded to that earlier with, hey, what if you are one or two or three or however many sailors on that ship, and you are well aware, because of our political climate, what your sworn oath is, and then you get there and they're like, fucking send that shell, sailor, and you're like, nope. Or do you? If you're aware of it, what do you even, how many are? Probably far more than are going to, I don't see, I just can't imagine any defying orders. Certainly in that situation where you're overseas on a ship. But this is a test run by Trump to see if the military will do as he says against their oath, go into the streets and attack American citizens. This is how it's starting. Just a couple more quick facts about what's going on over there. So since early September 2025, the U.S. has publicly acknowledged a series of strikes on vessels alleged to be trafficking drugs in or near waters linked to Venezuela. Venezuela claims to have apprehended mercenaries with CIA links aiming at a false flag attack. So again, Venezuela claims to have apprehended mercenaries with CIA links aiming at a false flag attack. Excuse me. So I'm not sure if I don't really get that statement. They're saying that there's mercenaries that were going to stage attacks against the U.S. to warrant a response from us, that sort of false flag, or if he's saying that this whole thing indicates or screams false flag with the drug issue, right? So Venezuela has issued strong warnings. If there's a military aggression, they will respond with national mobilization. So I guess if anything happens on Venezuelan territory, or like, I guess, ground, because some of these operations, murders have taken place in Venezuela's water, which is like, I don't know, maybe one of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Last I knew, it was around 12 miles offshore, 12 miles from your shoreline out to sea. Venezuela, yeah, read that. The line between anti-drug operations and potential regime change or military intervention is increasingly blurred in the coverage. For instance, Venezuela accuses the U.S. of fabricating a war. Well, that's a true accusation. I mean, Trump created this war. Nobody attacked us. I mean, to blow up boats in the middle of the ocean and say it was a drug boat headed for the U.S. Like I said, this just goes back to, this is what that opens it up for anywhere. This is what Trump wants to do. He wants to fucking impress his buddy Putin, and the only way he can do that is by fucking spilling blood. because that's what Putin sees as being an alpha, I guess. You know what I mean? Being a winner, being a top dog, going out there and spilling blood. All right. I got you guys back up. Let me say hi to a few of you. Try not to miss anybody. So I talked to Jay, and Dave is here, and Peter and Lucy. And Nosy is here, and Be Nice is here, and Macaroni. Or no, that's Mel's. Mel's is here. And Doc. Doc asked if I'm going to start crying. No, did it sound like I was going to start crying? I'll fucking pinch a loaf on your fucking front porch, Doc. Darlene is here. Bill is here. Aaron's here. You guys have all fucking joined chat properly. Jim Wedge is here. There's Macaroni. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. That was a mouthful, but I have all kinds of mouthfuls. I'm just going to get some shit straightened out now after that long ass rant and see if Doc is going to come back and yap with me. He asked if I was crying. I don't know if he's concerned or if he's poking fun at me. Either way, I appreciate you, Doc. I appreciate you, Doc. Why didn't I do a poll? Bill, what you got for me? Is Bill still here? What the fuck? God damn it. He's a slacker. Why the fuck where's Laura? Why can't I adjust the size of this picture next to me? Trump hacking down the fucking Statue of Liberty. Where is I need a poll. Cheers, Laura. I see that? I just fucking summoned her. How about I don't know what I asked earlier, but let's just ask the same one. I don't know how I worded it, but it's not easy for me, you guys, but I guess if anybody wants to fucking judge me, they're going to have to be honest themselves. They're going to have to judge me on my whole take on these things, right? Because you guys know, for fuck's sake. Am I wearing? Yeah. There it is. That's what I think about the United States Navy. I fucking love them. Just to be clear about that. And any of them, and any sailor that would hear me, I think completely understands where my heart is, because they are incredibly honorable, selfless folks. And there's a reason you have to be like that when you're the greatest fucking nation in the world, the strongest standing army in the world. Because if you don't have honor and selflessness, you end up, you know, maybe blowing up fucking innocent people in some other country and saying, screaming drugs, it's the drugs, the drugs, the drugs. Didn't Manson sing something like that? All right. I put a poll up. And of course, I'm not fixing. I'm not taking it down. You anybody wants to fucking maybe that'll get some more of those fucking idiots in chat. They can tell me they can cry about my typo in the poll question. So I ask you folks, if Trump is giving the military illegal orders, is Trump giving illegal orders to the US Navy? It's a clear and definitive yes. All right. I'm going to, if you guys want to hang tight for just a second, I'm going to put the link up. Let's see if I can do this, y'all. I think, hold on. I'm just looking for the link to share with you guys. Hey, there's my camera adjustments. Oh, for fuck's sake. Does this work? Laura, does the fucking URL work for that? Does that do the same thing? Is that going to fucking allow people to come in and yap with me? It looks like it will. All right, there's the link. I'm going to pin that. Oh, I probably can't. Oh, yeah, I can. Sweet. I thought I was going to take down our poll. I'm going to take a quick break a second, you guys. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. And then if anybody wants to join, anybody has a comment or wants to yap with me on screen, you don't have to show your lovely mug. You can just use a profile pic or whatever if you want. And I will probably just bring up one person at a time. Not that I doubt we'll be flooded, but I'm sure there's probably hopefully a couple folks that'll get on and yap with me a minute. So if you guys hang tight, I will be right back. All right. All right, I think I'm back. And oh, it looks like Laura. Yeah, is Laura with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. I hear you.
All right.
What's up, sister?
Well, I was just popping in to show you this works.
To show
The,
you.
the link that you dropped in the chat works,
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, I
and
appreciate it.
our we can connect. For
Awesome.
whatever reason you couldn't connect the other day.
So good. Hopefully everything still sounds all right to everybody. I don't have Laura's mic screwed up or anything. I don't see any complaints yet, so that's
All
good.
right.
It sounds good too.
So, any questions about how to use any of the tools in StreamYard?
Well, I still eventually, I mean, I'm not probably going to be bringing up any links tonight, like showing any video clips on screen, but yeah, the last time I used, I remember I wasn't able to do that. Because it was an issue with the sound. Like I couldn't play my own fucking files or some shit.
Yeah. And yeah, to share files, sometimes you have to be in the Chrome browser instead of whatever you use if you don't use Chrome.
Don't
Like,
you don't use Chrome?
no, you have to be in Chrome.
Oh yeah, that's usually what I like. I only use Chrome with my TV2 Live account. So I don't usually chat just like on your stream. I'll chat there with my main account. But yeah, that's all set up with my Gmail account.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to pop in and say hi and talk to you soon. I'll be in the chat in and out.
All right, thanks, sister.
Great.
Appreciate you.
Love you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, let's bring up Mel's. Mel's, are you there? Oh yeah, Mel's. If you can hear me still, sister, you got your mic muted.
Okay.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Good. I'll try to talk softer because I can get loud.
Same here.
I can rant, please.
I always go back and listen to my shit for a few minutes to see how the sound quality was, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I get going, man, and all of a sudden I'm blowing everybody's ears out. What's going on?
Well, personally, I'm healthy and more than 50 pounds down from where I was a year ago. So
Awesome.
I got my mojo going.
Good deal.
And, the point of what's happening right now is so terrible. The point is for us to starve, and then we riot. And like Jim said, this is not new. This is the history of what has happened historically.
Yeah.
And the playbook of the 1933 Hitler shit, even the arch and the bunker and the ballroom are all the same.
It's never. It's an un. It's
Oh my God.
infinite list of piles of shit that he's been dropping everywhere.
And the thing is, we were all watching when I met you all. It was with the Mueller report.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that's when I met you. And the thing is from meeting everybody then, we saw what criminality there was. And I remember Rachel Maddow having 3 screens of people that had all been indicted, and that was the first go round. We have no clue. There is so much going on. They're even near me in Solano, they're building a meta brain drain water raper thing.
Oh, one of those big AI plants or whatever
yes,
it is?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've looked into some of that, sister. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And there's just, it's non-stop craziness that like Bannon first said, flood the zone. Keep them up. What I'm so glad that the Democrats are holding their ground on this, but they've been fucking wusses pretty much my whole life.
Right.
So we having and all everybody over 70 should be out, and assholes like Grassley should have fucking died a long time ago.
Yeah, there's and I know what you're saying, and there's folks, I'm not a both sidesism guy, but we could do
Pelosi
better
should
on
be
our part.
gone. Maxine Waters should be gone.
Right.
I mean, I lived in San Francisco when Harvey Milk was murdered, and I met as part of a community group with Dianne Feinstein,
Okay.
and I supported her up until 20 years ago. She's too fucking old. And although she kept her wits about her, and Bernie is the only one that seems to be really old with his wits about him.
Yeah, he's amazing. We fucking missed the boat on that one, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And I don't think we can afford to do that anymore. And I'm not sure, sister, what it is I can even do myself or tell folks, or I know it's the best I can do is talk with people like you who are a little bit older than me and who get it, because it's not like a class war or a race war. It's a fucking war against our civil rights, and that just covers all of us.
But it is a class war. From the very beginning, Trump talked about the Gilded Age. And
right. I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't mean a class war. I meant like a generational war.
But that's part of it. Is where you are in the class and financially.
I agree.
And from the beginning, Trump has talked about how much he admires the Gilded Age.
Sure.
Do any research on what the Gilded Age was. That's the robber barons.
Yeah.
That's the people that caused the Depression. That is who caused the Depression. Yeah, we can congratulate Carnegie Libraries. We can say, great, they're Stanford University.
For now.
But even then, why would we say great? Because there's just so much destruction.
Yeah.
And so few people. This is not a meritorious country.
Mm-mm.
This is not a meritorious country, because that's the whole thing of getting rid of DEI. Okay? Yep. These asshole white guys can't stand it that there are brilliant women and brilliant colored people. People
I agree.
Color, whatever you want. But I grew up with saying colored people.
Yeah.
And I also grew up that Mexican people are white. Excuse me. Mexico is a country. It's not a race.
Right.
That's fucking stupid too. Anyway.
I know. Well, it's a war. Like you said, about the flood in the zone. That's what Trump is doing. And, that's why I'm so up in arms and irate about this fucking thing in Venezuela, because I really feel like this is a testing ground for him to just bring that back home. And all the things you just went through, he's just gonna intensify.
Right, because there's no Republicans to stand up, and we need about 25 Frost and AOC and Jasmine Crockett to go out there and kick fucking ass.
Yeah.
And just take it to the streets. Why isn't somebody down in Shreveport preaching how Mike is fucking them up? They are the poorest people and the dumbest people in the country.
I don't.
Why aren't there Democrats going down there and preaching? Shit, I could go preach.
I don't understand it either. I know you're a well-educated woman, and you know that I'm barely educated, right? I have a high school diploma, a couple of years in an art program, but it's not that difficult, is it? And I don't get it, Mel's. I do not get it.
But I heard one of the people that were analyzing what a general said about how many people in the military were Trumpers. Okay, Rupert Murdoch and Limp Dick Limbaugh ruined the country with the propaganda. And there was a goal. The evil genius is Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
Because Fox ruined this country. And the propaganda ruined this country. And I'm not really sure what, I mean, it was all for pleasure, obviously, for some
Yeah.
kind of joy getting out of getting out of this. But that's who ruined the country. And what this general was talking about with young people was that you get these guys coming into the military that are 18 years old, but for the last decade, they've been fucking listening to Fox as they were growing up. And
Yeah,
you want
or
to know what
parents
they
that
and
support
you
the
want to know
bullshit.
what they know about the world? They know what fucking Jesse Dick sucking Waters. If
Sorry,
there's
yeah.
ever a person that I can't even think of a person on TV I could hate more.
Well, I think you're getting to certainly one of the biggest factors of the core of the problem is not just the misinformation, disinformation out there. It's people absorbing it. And how do we change that mindset, or how do we get them a little more
There's no
clear-eyed?
change. Okay, TV, there's no changing it unless, yeah, fucking Greg Gutfeld and, Hannity and Megan, what's her name? All these people actually went online and went on, broadcast and said, we are sorry.
Yeah.
We were wrong. Okay, now that might start the healing. But they're not going to say that. They're actually laughing at us.
Well, so many of
all
them
these
that,
people, they're not stupid.
right.
Trump's venal and evil.
Well, so many of them, right after J6 too, spoke out against it, and
Right.
they've 99% have completely went right back to spewing the
Okay.
same kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and here's a thing that's okay. So the cruelty is the point. So let's stop food stamps and health care before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let's lay all these people off and not pay them. Let's tell them we can't give them any aid. And let's tell people that if we don't like your democratic program, or we don't like what organization you work for, this may not be a furlough.
Yeah.
You may not be able to come back.
I know.
Now, I also want to know, where did all the money from the Doji shit go? Where was for months, waste, fraud, and abuse, waste, fraud, and abuse, waste, fraud, and abuse, waste, fraud, and abuse. Okay, you say it enough times, that's all people heard.
Yep.
Where was it? Where is it? We know where it is, and it won't be exposed in my lifetime.
No, and it's just, feeding
Sorry for
his
ranting.
company what they want to hear, like with auditing Fort Knox and the supposedly.
They don't even want to audit the Pentagon.
I know, and supposedly $4 trillion brought in tariff revenue. Well, where is that? Our yearly budget's only like 6.6.
It's more than that. He keeps saying he makes up numbers. Okay, I want my medical to go down 400%.
Right.
I want Kaiser to pay me.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I just got a notification that I'm going to help this old couple out. The woman's in a hospital bed. And so I'm signed up for home health care. They don't really want me to do anything except sit there when the guy goes to the store or something and visit with her a little bit. She speaks hardly any English. And they've been my friends for 30 years. But my Kaiser bill, which at one point, because I was poverty at $2,000 a month, is going from $150 last year to $350 with a $4,000 out of pocket before I can get anything.
Right. And that's why we haven't signed up with ACA. I'm and this isn't speaking out against the ACA. I'm all about it. It needs to be better. It needs to be improved,
Yes. But the point is, just, Hillary had the plan for the health care. Okay. And that's the other thing. I mean, this country is so fucking racist and sexist. Can't stand the thought of a brilliant woman running the place.
Yeah, I agree.
And James Comey ruined the election for Hillary. James Comey ruined that because she was ahead until he came out and said some bullshit about the investigation. And I don't want to ever see his smarmy face. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but he was no ally. He wasn't even an honest broker.
No, there's a lot of folks like that. It's they, well, like you were saying, you don't even, it's hard to imagine what are these people doing this for, especially when you got super rich folks really calling so many. Well, when you have a fucking mush brain like Trump, he just absorbs anything these fuckers around him tell them, and it's like they have so much goddamn money, there's nothing left for them but to fucking control people.
Yes, that's right. And I need to figure out how to read if anybody's saying anything, because I'm just fucking ranting.
No, you're good.
I had to, because it was like I could hear both things. I could hear you on YouTube, and now I have to find you again and pop out the chat so I can shut up and see what.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you go on StreamYard, you have to turn your YouTube volume off.
Okay, well, this newfangled shit gets me all confused. Come on.
I know, the same here, girl. I'm like, I really, really enjoyed this, having you on and talking with Laura for a minute. I really want to do this more often.
Okay. Well, thank you. And it was a pleasure ranting.
All right. Thank you.
It was nice having somebody listen to me, even if they didn't want to.
It was nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. There you go, guys. Madam Z, or Mel's as we love to call her. Appreciate you and Laura coming in and yapping and let me get a few reps in on working this StreamYard, this newfangled technology. That was good. Man, I'm gonna have to have Mel's on more often for sure. For sure. Yeah, that was good. Bill, what's up? B says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. How's our poll doing? I asked 16 folks that participated, is Trump giving illegal orders to the U.S. Navy? 93% say yes. 7% say no. I'll keep that open for however much longer we do this. I don't know how long I am. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah, that was fun. That's exactly how I want this to go. Anybody else wants to get? Bill, you got to put a picture up of yourself. You put your cat up. Come in and add your rant to the rant stream. Mel says she was ranting. That ain't a rant. I could feel it though. She was, I bet she could lay it out. She did. I'm glad I got that article together, because that kind of stuff keeps me from just getting irate sometimes. Yeah, this is Mel, spoke on so many fucking good points. This attack making us hungry, making, just piling on the weight of survival. I can't imagine what it's like to have kids and be just a lower middle class person like our family, like me and Mrs. B always have been. I cannot imagine what it would be like to, be that same family this 20 some years later, and with what we're dealing with. It would be so hard to deal with. So fucking hard to deal with, and it's like, anybody wants to ask, they're welcome to, or they can just go ahead and assume things. But I came from a really hard-working middle-class family. Me and Mrs. B have been so ourselves. It's always been tough for me to say how much does what is the rich folks part, you know? And I can't answer that. Even if I have an opinion on it, and my opinion counts, it can't be the only one that counts. And it isn't the only one that counts, right? It's something like that. And I don't know what it I've asked myself, I've went over this many, many times. And it just seems that, we'll have the first world's trillionaire here before long. And, there's a good chance it'll be an American, like a Bezos or Musk, or something new comes along in the next 5 years or so that somebody just all of a sudden, totally cashes in on worldwide. How do these folks not owe more of their success to the folks that help make them successful? And I just think, I've ran a stupid scenario many times, but I don't get it, you guys. And is it just because folks like Bezos are completely without morals? I mean, because I'm no saint. You know what I mean? And is it because I am 55 years old, which ain't old, but I've raising 5 kids, being married 30 years. I have some experience maybe in understanding what it's like to live life. Not saying I know better than anybody else. I probably know better than some. Someone like Bezos with whatever it was a couple of years ago when I first considered this scenario, 36,000 employees in the U.S. What he could do if how he could change their lives by giving each of them $125,000. It wouldn't. It was just, and I don't remember all the numbers, but it was just such a small percentage of his overall wealth. And it's like it would change so many of those folks' lives in ways that would have huge impacts on on their communities where these folks live. It's on the economy, because a certain number of them would be enough money for them to now start their own business. Some would succeed, some wouldn't. Those jobs, those people leaving and going doing their own thing after getting $125,000, hey, you're an appreciated employee in American bonus. Those jobs would need to be filled. That's just going to give somebody else who was looking for a decent job. I don't understand it. It's the same with the giving tax breaks to the wealthy. It's like when you do that, their spending habits don't change. You know what I mean? I got $100 million fucking dollars in the bank and 3 fucking houses totaling fucking $10 million worth of value. You know what I mean? And I vacation fucking 4 times a year for a month at a time. I'm not changing my spending habits because all of a sudden you give me a fucking $1 million or $2 million break. You know what I mean? I'm not spending more money. I already spend. Do whatever the fuck I want to do. But if you give the middle class and lower a tax break, they're spending every dime of it. Every dime of the tax break you give someone like me, it's getting spent. I wish that weren't true. I mean, I wish that I could put a penny or two away more than I do. It's getting spent. That's what helps America. That's what strengthens and heats up our economy. Not tax breaks for the wealthy. But these are the money really is the power, unfortunately. And we have votes, and I still believe in our democratic election system. The money is obviously involved, have a heavy influence in our elections. And, I don't think any of that's a surprise, or I'm not sure how we fix that, other than, we may end up with worse candidates if we said, it's only going to be publicly funded, or you're only allowed to spend so much money per election, period. I think that's what we should do, is just put a cap on campaign spending. Not necessarily, I'm not sure that, sure, maybe, we've tried to limit how much fucking huge corporations or individuals can give, right? And it just, you end up with these PACs and all this shit that just fucking takes advantage of all these different loopholes, and none of it's been addressed properly. So, but after the elections, it's really now, so more than ever, I think we see the influence of these fucking wealthy people. Like, how many? I think Trump has at least 5 billionaires in his cabinet. It's fucking crazy. How is that? How is that representing America, you guys? I don't think it is. Bill says he's pretty sure Putin is a trillionaire. Yeah, that could be. I mean, last I knew, it was what? It was a lot. 560 billion or something was his estimated worth. But obviously, that, you just got to assume that any estimation of Putin's worth, net value, is going to have to be a low estimate, right? Because how could we possibly ever know? Mel says, TV so true, we spend everything, but what happens when no one has money? Yeah. No product sold, wait till the grocery chain, see what happens. No EBT, Kroger, Safeway, Sprout. Yeah. I know. It's frustrating. I haven't really cried about, like, just been completely frustrated about food prices until recently. I mean, I'm not saying that we haven't felt it. I'm just, just absorbed it and keep on keeping on it. But it's all the fucking shit, and it's getting so expensive that it is getting very frustrating. And the middle and lower class, you know, really, even, and obviously it's lifestyle differences too, but you take and I can't imagine this. I can't imagine this just being lower or middle class and lower middle class. $175,000 a year annual household income for someone. That would be being rich to me. That's how humble of a life we've lived. But even those folks, especially if it's a family, sure. I mean, I don't know what my kids make, but my daughter and her husband and their 3 daughters that just moved down to Florida, I'm sure they have and have to have a pretty healthy income, yearly income. I mean, I know she had told me at one time what she made when she was working for the state or for the county. So, and I know that he probably made about the same. And so it's, it's a lot of money that's just going right back into the economy. And you give folks like that, these families, a tax break, and they're just spending it. They're doing more for their kids. They're doing more for themselves. They're doing more, and especially in my daughter's case, they're always doing more for the community. Is that a reason to give people tax breaks? Because they say they'll go out and do more for the community? Sure, why the fuck not? It's better than giving fucking, I mean, seriously? I'm just so fucking pissed off today. I am. I'm just so pissed off at myself. I think, a lot of people, I guess, who think I'm being a fucking dickhead are like, you're fucking jealous, TV. It's like, I'm not jealous. I'm a fucking daydreamer, an artist, an imaginative person. You don't think I haven't sat and thought about, hey, what it'd be like to be rich? I don't think I'd care for it. Am I saying I don't want to be rich? Hell no. I'm just saying that it just, more problems come with it, or more responsibility. And yeah, maybe I don't want to be any more responsible than I have to be. But I'm just pissed off about the selfish attitude. Like, I don't fucking would never want to tell anybody how much money or things they can accumulate. You get to have as many things as you want if that's what fucking makes you happy. Is what disgusts me is that there are people that is their only concern. And it seems like there's a lot of them. And then you have those kinds of people in the masses, like with the Trump cult, that feel like the fucking world owes them. And they're broke. They're self-loathing. And I don't beat up on them because they're broke, but look, man, I'm sitting here and I struggle with saying, even bringing up, healthcare for all. I guess I don't really struggle. I think this should be happening. But other than that, I don't ask for anything from anyone. I'm not opposed to help. We're all in this together. But I don't need any help. America needs to do better by each other or ourselves as a whole. And we're not. I swear maybe I'll get Mac, if you have your ears on, since Mac is the writer. I'd really like to bring to life a little bit more detail about the scenario of having my neighbor not have health, or having health care tied to his employment, or maybe not having health care, and not staying healthy and then losing his job, or having health care tied to his employment, losing his job, and then not having health care. And you get the domino effect with the car payments missed and the housing payments missed and cutting meals. And, people are ruthless. I think Mel said it. It is absolutely about inflicting pain. How can I, even where I sit, as humble a life as I have, how can that be any good for me or any of my other neighbors if that's happening to one of our neighbors? And how much of a difference does it make for us? How much better is it for us if one of us in the neighborhood isn't overcome with medical bills, or, has a medical issue and loses their job and now losing their insurance? Or if they lose their job, what difference how would that be if they didn't lose their medical insurance because they have, some sort of preconditions or whatever? So now they're able to stay healthy until they can get back to work at a new job, right? How does none of that make sense? It's just, I'm really disgusted at the selfishness of our country. And I say that again, not asking for anybody for a fucking thing. It's that I understand that if the folks around me are okay, if they're secure, if they're doing better, that's the kind of trickle down that works, right? Or at least has a positive effect. Not something that we should bank on. That's how I see it. And I think it's common sense. That's how you build stronger, safer, better communities, right? Closer communities. Did Gloria pop in? Gloria, cheers to you. I do see her there. And it's, I see you guys talking about social benefits and stuff. Again, this is, Mel's just nailed brought up a billion good points in like 5 minutes. Demonizing hungry American children. 100%. She mentioned Tiny Mike Johnson's state, but Louisiana, right? Motherfuckers are poor and hungry down there. But they don't care if they're white. That's not what this is about. Yeah, Trump, the fucking administration is a fucking racist, fucking misogynist, sexist, fucking fascist administration. But I say they don't care that there's fucking white because they don't care that because they're poor. And they don't give a fuck. They see folks in the poor tax bracket, lower middle class, like myself, middle class, as nothing but a waste of oxygen and resources, right? Imagine this, just the upper class, the whatever, maybe not just 1%, maybe 3%, 5%, and then those that serve them. That's it, man. I'm telling you. I'm just shocked that folks like Tiny Mike Johnson think he's part of that. He's part of that inside group. You know what I mean? We seen when Trump, during the election, during the campaigns, what a fucking schmoozing ass kiss, fucking just needy little fucking runt that Mike Johnson is. I mean, wiggling his way into photographs of that. Please, Mr. Trump, can I squeeze in here? Can I poke my head in with you and Bobby and Don Jr. and whatever other idiot while you're having McDonald's on the plane? Can I quick stick my head into the photograph? I brought this up on the stream the other night. These people, I don't blame them for being, fearing for the safety of their family, like these Republicans that don't speak out against Trump. I just don't think that's a good excuse. I absolutely believe that their families would be threatened. There would be a serious, real increase in danger and threat to them and their families if a Republican official speaks out against Trump. I get that. I believe it 100%. And I think it fucking sucks. For sure it sucks. I mean, are we really facing, is there a greater, more urgent issue than that? That is the issue, is the violence Trump and his fucking goons are portraying on Americans. And it doesn't fucking matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't fucking matter if you're white. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like in Russia, we see, it doesn't matter if you're rich. Eventually, it'll be like that for Trump, with Trump, too. He won't give a fuck if you're rich. It's going to be about loyalty. I fucking face down all kinds of fucking stupid, silly threats. Do I find any of them credible? Never. There's a couple that I archived because, there's some I've received one or two emails over the time that were chilling a little bit. Because I know what people are capable of. We see it with the Trumpers every day. I just don't think it's an excuse not to fucking speak up. I think you should, if you're afraid for yourself and your family, and that's why you're not being honest, then you should just go put yourself out the window. You should go do a Putin window job all on your own. Is that harsh? I don't know. What good are you? Seriously. Do you think this is a fucking joke? You think we're just fucking, hard times, political differences? What good are you? If you can't speak out against Trump, you're not a fucking American. Yeah, I'm saying that. If you can't speak out against Trump and all the incredible crimes and bullshit he is doing to us, you're of no use to society. In fact, like I keep saying, there's no fence riders. So not only are you of no use, you are part of the problem. And I think it sucks, again, that you and your family would be under threat should you speak the truth to power. Your livelihood, your insider connections, all that gone, right? Boo fucking who? You know what happens? All that shit comes back anyway. Anyone willing to give up a little bit of their freedoms in exchange for security deserve neither. All right, you guys. I appreciate you. This was really good chat. I'm going to fuck off and probably go right back to work doing some stuff. Mac, I'll click your link, but I can't bring the shit up. Yeah. Thanks, brother. I will save that and watch it. Oh, yeah. What's his nuts? Sam Freed. Yeah. I can't think of his last name. Sam something or other. Sam Altman. I will watch that, brother. And hopefully the next time we do this, I will have a way to share some video clips and stuff, especially with what you guys are always sharing with me. I appreciate that. All right. I will see you soon. All right. Thanks again to Laura and Mouse for coming in and yapping with me. That was really good stuff. That's exactly how I hope it goes, or want it to go, and hope it can go in the future. And hopefully we'll get more and more folks. Get a few more folks that'll be willing to come in and yap. We have to hear you, but you don't have to put a picture up. Like I said, you could put a picture up of your cat, or you could put a picture up of Bill's cat. Whatever works. All right, I love you guys. Be good. Peace and love. TV2 out like a motherfucker.